I'm live. I'm here. I made it. I made it. I'm a minute late. I am alive for some reason. For some reason. Hello, Bezow, Reed. Hello. I am gonna do my weekly avocado, I guess. I don't know. It's a fat one. My dream avocados with the small pits. Sir, I work in corporate Australia and I'm in hell. Why is corporate Australia hell? I'm going to draw Australia from memory. I assume that you work in this area of Australia and it's hell because of. Do you guys have spiders in the office? Societal collapse what year? It's already happening, man. Like, look around. Things are rotting around you and people are like, when's the collapse coming? There's all stores are closed. Violence in the streets. Oh, what's in the softcover book? That's a great question. So the hardcover and the softcover books are the same except for the cover. Here's the soft and here's the hard. Okay. And they are my drawings with little quotes about them. This is about situationships. That was a Charlotte episode. And there's my princess map. Women who want serial princess treatment are setting a special kind of trap for themselves. Here's the book. It's nice. It's cute. I think it came out great. There you go. That's what's in it. NJ Fuentes, respecter. Man, some of you guys are going hard. It's Tuesday and it's it's Tuesday and I should just call them all that. It's Tuesday and um Arrow says my drawings are excellent and hilarious. Thank you. I love the praise. I really do. But let's get into the hard questions. Let's get into real discussion and fewer drawings of avocados. I'm just fantasizing about food. I have Chinese food coming. My girlfriend is coming back with Chinese. Happy birthday, Akira2234. Happy birthday. What Chinese food are you getting? It's a surprise. I don't know. I eat anything, so she's just bringing me back whatever. She's bringing it from her parents. She's going to get furniture from her parents. It is a nice avocado. Avocado. Avocado is a Spanishization of the Aztec word ahuacal. 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 It just sounded like avocado to them, and so they messed it all up. But it's a fruit from the Central American Mexican area where the Aztecs lived, and they call that an ahuacal. What is your educational background? I've been over that one a lot. I've got to stop repeating myself on these things. People are getting kind of bored. Um, Message retracted. Well, thank you anyway, Ernesto. Hedging Mastermind says, what to do after ONS? I had many. I never text again. Oh, ONS is one night stand. Um, what to do after one night stand? I had many. I never text again. Well, it doesn't sound like you want to. I don't know what advice to give you. Like, if you have a one night stand, you don't want to text them again. Are you happy with that? Okay, good for you. Are the women happy with that? If they're not, then maybe you should stop. Um, I don't know how to give you more advice than that. It says what to do after one night stand. I had many. I never text again. Sounds like normal modern life. Klondike Bar says, "How do I build my resilience and ability to stop caring about smaller things?" In order to stop caring about smaller things, you have to keep your mind on the bigger things. So I just make a guy here looking through a little magnifying glass, right, at the smaller things, and I'll just make a little box for a thing, right? And something's bothering him. Your day is going to be filled with these. It's going to be filled with just little bothersome things like the toilet seat or whatever garbage you're living through, right? What you have to do to keep your mind off of the smaller things is you need a well established idea of what your life is about and what your purpose is. This is why I use that big red upwards arrow in my self maximize packet, because your life has got to be about what direction you are going in. And all of these little things are going to be, they're either going to help you go in that direction, or they're not going to help, but it's not that big of a deal, or it's going to be kind of ambiguous which way it's going, you know. But you've got to zoom out and look at what they call the 10,000-foot view. We'll just do a cloud here, and we'll just do an eyeball looking down from the cloud. 10K foot. You've got to do the 10,000-foot view of all the little things in your life, the whole map of little things. And you've got to assess, are you ultimately going in the right direction or not? Like today, I had some frustrating things happen. I had some good things happen. But overall, I am moving towards the life that I currently want, which is where I am, producing videos and making money with advertisements and such. Um, Going towards it, it's a little frustrating. There's just a lot of little details to get to. Sometimes it takes longer to make a video than I want. I'd like to be able to make several a day. Um, but yeah, not getting bothered by the small things. It's not about muscling through it. It's not about just going like, "Oh, I'm so tough." You have to keep your eye on your ultimate, what is it all for? What do I belong to? What meaning do I have? So for me, I have another person in my life now, and that gives me a lot of responsibility and purpose. And all the other things I've always cared about, I could go back to them maybe. I don't know. Um, but that's basically it. Okay, let's see. Cole Lecky. What's in that softcover book, Avocado Atrocity? I answered. Cole Lecky. How do you envision the future of policing further into collapse? Well, the police just do what they're told. So the police are kind of like separate from the rest of society, right? They get told that they're special and they're the good guys. They view themselves as these big heroes. Just do the muscles. They're like, I'm Mr. Policeman and I protect the world from evil by giving you speeding tickets and taking your rights away. They think that they're awesome even though they're serving the bad guy. They're serving the government, who is absolutely destroying the country. Let's make them little evil vampires. Um, with I'll just do puppet strings here. And they're kept separate from the rest of us, normal people, and our problems are like they don't get it. They can't see. They don't understand. I've just me and everyone I've ever met. We've had so many interactions with police officers where it's like, why are you treating me like I'm a criminal? I'm a normal person going about my normal life, and they're like, looking for felonies and being intimidating and, talking about their personal safety. And it's like, aren't isn't your job, don't you think you're a hero because you keep the public safe? And they talk about like, for my safety, I need to completely violate your rights for my safety, but don't you exist for my safety? Isn't that what makes you a hero? So the future of policing further into the collapse is, as this gets worse, this is going to get worse because they just do what they're told. Very, very few of it, like they specifically hire them because they have a psychological profile of doing whatever they're told. Very few of them even have the capacity to think for themselves. And the few that do are not allowed to for political reasons. And they do whatever they're told for like a meager paycheck. So, whatever, insanity the government comes up with next, the police are going to do, and it might get crazy. You've got to understand that in other times, in Nazi and Soviet times, people went door to door, gathering people and putting them into camps. And why did they do that? Because they were told to. There's always someone who does what they're told, and our government is getting more insane by the minute. So how I envision the future of policing further into the collapse, it's going to be the same as every other collapse. Really, really dangerous. You say, is rule of law in danger of serious collapse? We don't have rule of law now. We don't have it now. Are we trending towards an openly fascist system? I don't know if I would use the word fascist, but it is authoritarian and it's an oligarchy and it's anti-rights. We don't have any rights. We don't have any rights. If somebody in the government, some judge or somebody just says, take this person's rights away, the cops will just go do it. And then if you try to say, hey, I want to appeal that, they just go, no, you already don't have rights. It may not have happened to you, but it's already there. We're already there. Ernesto T says, do you think a woman like Chads because they are mean, or Chads just happen to be mean and women like, okay. This is one that we've been over a lot. It's kind of a basic question, Ernesto. When guys are mean and uncaring to women, it's kind of a signal that he doesn't need to be nice. Like, if you have a guy who's like, ugh, I don't need to deal with your crap, right? Then that makes her go, oh, he must have a lot going on for him. And if there's a guy over here on his knees, like begging, oh my God, I love you. Please pay attention to me. Then that's ick, bleh, tongue. Because it's like, well, he must not have anything else going for him. This guy must have like lots and lots of girls because he's saying, "Oh, I'm not putting up with your crap." So it's just a signal that he's high status and very desirable and confident. Um, there are other reasons that it works that way too, but it's not. They don't like it when you're mean because they want you to be mean. It's just that in certain contexts it signals something. Veronica Perez says, what is the best way a woman gets a man to take her back after he's broken up with her? He's secure and makes way more money. She's insecure and doesn't make much. Please be super detailed. Thank you. It sounds like this is a personal issue. So if he's broken up with you, what's the reason? You you want a man to take you back after he has broken up with you. Um, what's the reason that he broke up with you? Did you change it? Did he find somebody that he likes better? Were you having some kind of problem? Was it because of money? You know, I can't give you much detail without that information. He's secure and makes way more money. She's insecure and doesn't make much. Does it have to do with the insecurity? Does it have to do with like the downward spiral that insecurity creates? If you want someone to take you back, you have to show him that whatever the thing was that he didn't like about you, that it's gone, and that the things that he did like about you are better. Um, Sorry, I can't be more specific than that, but without knowing your situation, like there's no like buy him a cake. There's no one thing that works to get guys to take you back. You just have to prove that you are gonna be better than before. Cal Salis. Can you explain the concept of God being the final observer? I think you mentioned it on a previous live when talking about self analyzing in levels. Yeah. So, God being the final observer, like sometimes I draw God as just like an eye with a crown on a cloud. And the reason that I do that the eye is God, is because, inside of you, you have your thoughts. And, we all have that. Like cats and dogs and even bugs have thoughts. Like a bug can say, "Oh, that's food and that's danger and I better get away from that," right? Humans have a uniquely high capacity to observe our thoughts, right? And we can go, "I am thinking this. Should I be thinking this? Is this a good thing? Do I change?" And then you can observe your observation of your thoughts and you can go, "Hmm, why am I thinking about my thoughts that way?" And you can just keep going. You can go meta on your thoughts. Humans can do that. And once this sort of begins to spiral into infinity, you get to a place where there's no personhood anymore. There's no differentiation between your individual self and kind of just the universe observing itself. With each increasing abstraction, you get less personal. It's less personalized, and it's closer to um, the absolute. And so when I say that God is the final observer, the great observer, what I mean is that, in an abstract sense, if there is anything that can be called God, it would be the mind and the viewer inside all of us, into infinity layers of observation. So the fact that you are here seeing means that God is in you. Just draw a little, and then in everyone else as well. And it's in Ms. Perez there, and in this guy, and they're observing each other, and that's God as well. That's where God lives, in the observation. Jesus says it in the Bible. It says the kingdom of God is within you. It's within you. It's this is me and this is the world. And then I'm thinking about the world. And then I know I'm thinking about the world. And then I know I'm thinking about the world. The kingdom of God is within, 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 within. How do you figure out your purpose? Eli 101 says, or Ellie 101. How do you figure out your purpose? So I put that in self maximize. Um, Figuring out your purpose has a lot to do with feeling. It's feeling. You have to get experiences in life. You've got to go do things and um, read about things, see things on TV. Like when I was a little, when I was about a teenager, I saw people on TV. I saw um, Jon Stewart on The Daily Show, and I saw stand-up comedians, and I saw actors, and I never actually had a TV with the bunny ears, but I saw those things on TV, and I thought, wow, that really resonates with me. I want to do this. I want to be like a famous TV person, and I want to be funny, and I want people to listen to me. And that's called resonating. That resonates with you. It resonated with me. So you have to you can see things on TV or on your phone, or you can go outside and experience life for yourself. Go live in a city, go live in the country, go take vacations. And you've got to experience things and you have to check on yourself. So again, when you are experiencing the world, you've got to like look at what you're experiencing and go, do I like this? What do I like about it? You know, these are the steps. What am I doing? How do I feel about it? Why do I feel that way about it? Would that be is this a good thing or a bad thing? Where's it going to bring me? You know, and start doing like some research on it. Go look at the real world and go, what are the chances of this? You know, like a lot of people will run off to Los Angeles to be an actor, and the chances of that working are really, really bad. And you have to weigh that, you know, the 1% chance of you being on a commercial one day against the success of making it. So to figure out your purpose, you have to feel what your reaction is to all of the different possibilities that there are for you. And your purpose is going to come through the feelings. It's going to tell you what you want to do. And then you know, again, also in self maximize, I recommend Ikigai, which is a combination of, I believe, if I remember it correctly, it's what you want to do, it's what you're good at, it's what the world needs, and it's what pays money. So if you can find something that's all four, then that for sure is your purpose. And I'm doing mine right now. That's how you find it. Let's see. Matteo. How do you know if a woman is narcissistic or if she behaves that way because you aren't bad boy enough? Does society enable narcissistic women now? Well, for sure, society enables narcissistic women more than it used to. More than it used to. Not entirely. But how do you know if someone is narcissistic? Narcissism is it's all about you. It's all about the self. So if you want to know if a woman is a narcissist, everything like her life is about her, right? And then your life and your choices and your thoughts are also about her. And she has to be in charge of it and she has to be the star of it. And then there can be another person over here and maybe you need to go do something with that person that has nothing to do with her and that's also about her. Like that's how narcissism works. Everything goes back to that person. Narcissism is a little bit more rare, well, probably a lot more rare than people say it is. It's just one of those words that people throw around, like racism and sexism and whatever phobia. People just throw it around in order to control you. Um, real narcissism is real narcissism is pretty sick, and it's like when somebody just has no capacity to not make everything about me, 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 me. It's very destructive. That's how you know. And yeah, for sure, when somebody is like this, especially a woman, society is much more like, "You go, girl. You do you." We live in that time like that now. The you culture. Right now I'm on YouTube. We've named all of our stuff. You, yourself, you're awesome. Go you, 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 you. And then there are narcissists who are like, "Yeah, me." And you know, it's worse than it used to be. J.J. Stone says Walster's matching hypothesis is from the 60s. Today, people tend not to get married, so the idea that 10% of men are getting all the sex holds true. Why do you think people deny this? Because it's uncomfortable. I mean, that's an easy one, man. People deny it because it's uncomfortable. People want to think that things are relatively fair. They want to think they have a chance. And they also don't want men knowing that they don't have a chance. Nobody wants for there to be millions of men walking around knowing that they live in this world. Nobody wants for there to be like some people tell me sometimes that I shouldn't say what I say because these guys 1 through 7 is like 90% of men and they're all going to have a really hard time like Mr. 7 and Mr. 6 are going to have an okay time sometimes and they might find somebody after some time. Mr. 5 is going to have it pretty tough. Mr. 4 through 1 are going to have it really tough. Um People want to believe that they live in this world. They want to believe that people relate to each other on a relatively even level. But It just doesn't work that way. There are some guys who have lots of access and some guys who don't. So, why do people deny it? Because it's uncomfortable. People live their lives according to what's comfortable, not according to what's true. People don't care about truth at all. Most people don't give a I'm gonna get mad. Most people don't care about what's true at all. It's upsetting to me. Hedging Mastermind is back. Hello. I'm good at getting sex on the first dates. However, all my life women usually chased me to keep it going, so I never learned what to do after the first date. Oh, that's pretty bad. How to keep it going after the first date? Well, I mean, you've never had like a relationship with anyone. Um, do you have any friends? If you want to keep it going, he's good at getting sex on the first date, but it usually chased him to keep it going. Never learned what to do. Have you ever had any friends, or have you ever been nice to anyone, or have you ever maintained a relationship at all? You have to learn, what this person likes. Like, there's really shallow levels on which we relate to each other, which is like, attraction or money. You go to the club and it's like this person is looks this way and is dressed that way, and you have like this really shallow level of perception where it's just what this person initially looks like. And then there are things that are sort of deeper about you. There are things that you have to get to know about somebody. And then there are things that people don't even know about themselves. And there are things that, haven't even happened yet, ways that people are going to grow. There's so much more than just the initial layer. And you have to get familiar with what these are. Like this would be self, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Um, the the deeper aspects of people. Think about your own. Think about what people don't know about you and what you wish they knew about you, and then just assume that other people have that too, and find out what it is, and then interact with that. One of the best ways to bond with someone is to get them to talk about themselves, and then when you hear something that you've never heard of before and you're not familiar, be interested in it and go, "Oh, tell me more about that. Like, I want for this part of you to become a part of my life." That is really helps you bond. I don't know if that's the question that you're asking, like, how to keep it going? You bond with people. You bond with her and care for her and provide her feelings of safety and such. Lawson Harrison. Ooh, $50. Thank you, sir. Lawson Harrison. So many sons. Lawson Harrison. I understand the system we have is far from perfect, but also maybe we expect too much from a society of humans. Yeah, maybe. I think if we accept that we are slightly evolved primates, things are pretty good. No, I don't think things are pretty good. I'm feeling pretty bad. Like, I measure how good things are by how good things feel, because what else can you measure it by? Hey, I'm terrified all the time. My society is collapsing. People are behaving completely insane. People are saying half of the population is saying things that are absolutely completely insane. So, what you're saying is it's not that there's no merit to it, that we basically are like we're just like evolved chimpanzees, draw monkey teeth or whatever. We're just basically evolved monkeys. And so it's cool that we have refrigerators, right? You can look at things that way if it makes you, sleep better at night. But I would like to see humanity figure out how not to have a collapse. Like, we have development, and then it kind of gets better and better and better and better. And at a certain point of development, life gets too easy And when life gets easy, people start getting weak, and then the development kinda stops, and then other people or some bad thing happens. It's usually like in Rome, it was other people creeping in and destroying it. And then they sorta eat out what caused the development and they crash, and then things are really bad. I'd like to live in a world where we learn from our mistakes and we don't do that, but everyone's just too stupid. Everyone, you can scream at them all day. You can show them papers. You can go, "This is what happened before and it's happening now," and they just put their fingers in their ears. "La la la, I wanna watch football. La 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 la." So, I personally would like to not do that. I would like it if we did not give power to people who just said, "La la la, football game. I wanna be comfy. I wanna be comfortable." Like, this is coming. It's here now. It's here now, and a lot of people are feeling it. Like, if food is more expensive, rent is more expensive, no one's getting paid enough. Everything's falling out the bottom, and people are like, "La, la, la, football, football, Doritos." Um, I if you wanna call that good, you can. I'm not gonna. Ario says, "How big of a difference in interpersonal levels 1 to 9 is acceptable between a man and a woman for them to become compatible?" So it's actually kind of funny because some levels are more compatible than others, even though they're far apart. It's very funky kind of dynamic. I'll just give you a few examples. Um, so it's pretty easy for like level twos and threes to hang out, but there's not very many level twos, so we can just kind of ignore them. Um, People who are at level three, even though they're both on the same level, their relationships are very chaotic because this person is trying to get for themselves and this person is trying to get for themselves. And so you get the merry divorce cycle. They break up when they're mad and they make up when they're happy. And they just keep doing it over and over. They break up and they get back together. They break up and you ever seen people who get divorced and remarried a bunch of times? They can't think beyond it feels good now and now it doesn't feel good. And now it feels good and now it doesn't feel good. So even though they're on the same level, the level itself is so immediate and manipulative, like they call it the opportunist, that the relationships are not stable. So having long-term relationships in this level is just kind of hard. Um, Relationships at this level are very, very stable because people who are at this level, they have their identity centered not in what can I get for myself, but what am I supposed to do? So it's very, very different. This one is chaotic and this one is really stable. And people who are if you have one partner at this level and one at this level, it tends to be unstable because this person doesn't want to put up with this one, right? But then if you have someone at this level and someone at this level, if you have one at 4 and one at 5, those relationships can be stable as long as they have a discussion and they say, "Okay, I will live by these rules and you live by those rules and everything will be fine." Um, Once you get up into and it gets really complicated because if you have a woman at this level, at level 6 here, and a man at level 5, um, that one can work because the man will see the woman as, like, silly. This was like there was an old TV show called Dharma and Greg, and, Dharma was this silly, crystal astrology girl, and then Greg was just a businessman, and he was like, "Oh, she's silly, but whatever," and he saw her as being like, lower, like, "She's silly, but I put up with her," but really she was kind of a more advanced type thinker. But if it's the other way around and the man is at this level and the woman is at this one, then she's gonna view his softness as weak, and that relationship is gonna be unstable. So it's not just the difference between levels. It's the way that they interact. Like somebody who's way up at 7 or 8 can have a good relationship with someone who's at 4 or 5 as long as they share the same values. It's gets really complicated. Good question. Um, is it best for Baxter Maxter says, "Is it best for the woman to be the adorer in the relationship instead of the reverse?" I like that. I like it that way. Um, I think that I prefer to be the adored rather than the adorer. But as long as your values remain close together, as long as your mate value, MV, remains similar, it'll be stable. Um, being the adored means that you have the power in the relationship. I prefer to have the power in the relationship because I know what I'm going to do with it and I trust myself. I just don't like the idea of not having the power. That's really what it's about. So it's not whether the woman or the man should be the adorer or the adored. It's about are you the person who should have the power or should the other person have the power? And if so, how can you test for this? Which person is less likely to leave? Which person needs the relationship more? That's the adorer. Veronica Perez. We just fought a lot. He said I was too stubborn. He could never get through to me. He wouldn't go to therapy because he said it would be another person, not him, getting through. I'm very independent. Okay. It sounds to me like he's right, Veronica. He said I was too stubborn. He could never get through to me. Are you too stubborn? Do you ever admit you're wrong? Have you ever been wrong, Veronica? Has Veronica ever been wrong? Veronica Perez. I'm projecting onto you a little bit because I've dated women who've never been wrong. And it's difficult because when they're wrong, then things get really bad. Um, wrong. How good are you at self-reflecting? How good are you at admitting when you've done something wrong and when you need to be the one who's sorry? You know, if he's saying he can never get through to you, imagine what it would be like for him to get through to you. I know people like this, where I can just point at something all day and go like, "There's a box here." And they will go, "No, there's not. No, there's not. There's no box." And then they'll trip over it and they'll go, "Why did you put a box there?" And it's like, "I told you there was." And they go, "No, you didn't." I've I've I know people like that. If that's you, then you need to stop doing that. You've got to go have a conversation with him and show him like I'm not like that anymore. Show him what that you got through to him. Show him that you got through to him is my advice. Living says I'm about to get fired. Sorry. Don't have the ability to learn anything. Extra sorry. I have no skills. I don't want to do anything. I have no friends or relationship. I have no future and my life is over. Feel like ending it. Well, I don't have the capacity to support that much difficulty. But I want you to remember that there's always more outside of what you can see. So you can only see so far. And what you're looking at right now makes the world look like it's all bad, like it's all bad stuff. And that might be true. The world might be all bad for you right now, but there's more outside of what you can see. And you don't know what's going to happen there. Like, do you have any idea how bad my life was before my video went viral and I took off? I had my life was like this. This is overall quality. And this is like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. All right. Um, my life was, pretty comfortable as a child, but I kind of had an abusive home. So it was a little unpleasant. Started having difficulty in school, very socially low as a teenager. And then as I got to college, I got some independence and started relaxing. But then I realized like that wasn't enough to make me happy. And then I got out of college and I got a girlfriend and I was really happy. I was living in a place and I had a job, but then she was really bad to me. And then we broke up and I started working on myself. And this is the part of my life that I'm basing self maximize on. Like all the stuff that I learned and did here. my life got way better, and it was like I would put it at the 80% mark, right? I didn't know this was coming. I didn't know that was gonna happen, and that kept up for a while, and then I moved to New York City, and that was awesome, but then my roommates were bad. I had to go back and live with my mom, and it was, like, mid again, and, I'm not doing this according to the like, this would be that would be here. And then I moved out again, and my life at one point, like, right around 34, was the best it had ever been, right about 34, 35-ish, somewhere around there, and then COVID happened, and it went down to the worst that it had ever been, and it was like that for years. Destroyed my life. And then just last year, this happened for me, and I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that coming. I had no idea that I was gonna go viral and make a career out of it, and that's all I can really tell you. Um, you can't see that far ahead. You might think you can, but you can't. You don't know what's coming. Avocado says, "Yes, get mad, let the hate flow through you." I'm sure I said something hateful a moment ago. I'm sure I was angry about something. AA, avocado atrocity. The Royal We, $20. 32 males, 120K a year, dated much in my 20s, had some long term relationships. Women always end up biting me in the ass. What reason do I have to keep dating other than I'd like children? I can't find one that's attractive and unmedicated. I can't make that decision for you, man. I gave up. I consider myself an expert in this stuff. And at this point in my life, completely transformed who I was. And then I did it again later. I did it twice. But I gave up because things are so bad out there. You don't have to keep going. At no point anywhere in my work do I say, you have to keep dating. You have to. You have to keep I don't say that. I'm just telling you if you want to, here's how it works. If you need a break, take a break. If you want to quit, quit. I had a hard time finding a good one too. I had to get like 100 million views before I found a good one. I I'm not selling hope. I'm selling information. Black cat. If God respects free will, why does he not respect our will to not exist? Well, he does. If you want to not exist, you can. God built the universe and human willpower so that you're able to do that. Um, you know, this whole you can't unexist yourself thing, those are religious beliefs. Is it true? Does God punish you for that? I don't know. Who says? Why are we forced to either follow him and suffer or not follow and suffer eternally? I don't know anything about that. Like I talk about Christianity sometimes, but I don't know if the heaven and hell thing is real. I just think that the Bible has tons and tons of really dank wisdom in it. I don't, I'm not pretending to believe in traditional Christianity where there's a heaven and a hell, and I don't know. Your choices are all in front of you. That's all I can say about that. Mateo, how do you know if she's pathologically emotionally abusive or has narcissistic traits, or if she is just embracing feminism or whatever? Well, what's the difference? Um, Mateo, don't waste time trying to diagnose her and figure out if she's narcissistic, right? This all about me thing. Don't waste time on diagnosis. Spend time with people until you get what's going on with them. And if it's not working for you and they won't change it, then move on. You don't need to put words to it. You don't have to say, "Oh, BPD." You don't have to use all these pop psychology terms. Just when you meet someone who's not working for you and you say, "Hey, can you change this?" and they go, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," and they don't, then just leave. Don't spend your time like, "You're a narcissist." Like, what good is that gonna do? You just put a narcissist sticker on her fridge and then she's gonna change? Cajun J, what is your opinion on dating coworkers? Yeah, we don't have a lot of choice anymore, do we? I steer on the side of caution with that or avoid it. Want to know your side. Um, you know, I would say don't do it unless you're really sure that it's gonna be a lasting relationship because, if you have drama, if you have, like, breakup drama and cheating drama in the office, that's bad for business. So, just be extra careful. Be extra careful with coworkers because all of I draw sometimes, like, I'll draw a guy doing a nasty trick to a girl, and then she has a sad feeling, right? Little sad face, and then that goes in the dating pool. I draw that a lot. And the pool is a lot smaller at work. Like, if you do something that hurts this girl and she goes back out into, like, New York City, right? Then that's a big pool, and it'll come back to you in a very spread out way. But if you work in an office of, like, 10 people, it's like, you know, that's a small pool. Just remember that. Remember the size of your dating pool. Aman says 25 here, 25M suffering from one-itis syndrome. That's when you like one girl, which is a disease now. Feeling quite old, although I shouldn't. I have no friends to talk. Would gym looks maxing help? Yeah, of course, dude. Being fit and in shape, uh, and dressing well and taking care of your looks is the number one thing that helps. You have to also be a cool person, but for sure. I'm going to the gym myself. I'm just gonna do a little flex for you. I recommend the gym. I'm not huge right now, but I'm getting better. Ernesto T says, "How do you balance trying in a relationship versus coming off as desperate?" Oh, do things out of love. So that one I've got an illustration for. God, I hope I still have it. Do things out of love and not out of need. I did a really good video on this once. Da, 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 there it is. Okay, so there was a guy who said women hate love, and I broke it down into love and desperation. And there are things like that are love that you can do for women because I love you and I want you to be happy. And then there are things you can do for women because, like, don't leave me, I need you. And women hate that. You can do the same thing. You can buy her flowers because you want her to have flowers, or you can buy her flowers because, like, I don't know what you want. What does it take for you to like me? And that's one of those is great and one of them is bad. And you've got to learn the difference because women can tell the difference. This is something that confuses men. They go like, "I bought you flowers. I did the thing. Why don't you like it?" And it's because you did it out of insecurity. If you do it out of I want you to be happy, then she'll be happy. And if you do it out of trying to lock her down, then she won't be. Yeah. I gotta open a jar. We have Chinese food. I gotta open. Hang on a sec. It's got some duck sauce. No, I can't open it. Okay, there you go. Thank you. My Chinese food is here. Um, okay, Cole Lecky says thoughts on the situation in Baltimore. Oh, I don't know it. Do you think a significant enough event change of living standards? Oh, missed it. Do you think where did the question go? Significant enough event change in living standards would break people out of spiral thinking. Also, draw a tree. I don't understand what's going on in Baltimore, and I don't think I have the time to Google it. Is there a shooting or something? Um, I don't know. I guess I'll just Google Baltimore and see if it comes up. Baltimore. Um, oh, the bridge collapsed. Was that it? Yeah, 4 hours ago. Baltimore bridge collapsed roughly 2 minutes after emergency. I don't know. Um, I mean, I think that what you're saying when you're talking about the bridge collapse is like our infrastructure is failing, right? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like our oh, thank you. Thank you. I have snacks. Um, This is exactly what I'm talking about, that our world is kind of falling down around our ankles, and, I don't know how to get people to understand that the way that we live, is what makes our bridges stand or fall. Um, a significant enough event or change in living standards, it's gonna be when people don't have food, unfortunately. It's gonna be when there's no more fruit on this tree. It's gonna take a lot to break the average person out of their, haze. Another Landa, would a guy from Eastern Europe or Asia dating sevens and eights back home be able to date the same level of women in USA, UK, or Germany, or income status stereotypes play a role here? What a guy from Eastern Europe or Asia dating I mean, your markets are different. I don't know what the Eastern Europe market is like. I know that I had a friend who once said that she was a Detroit 9 and a LA 4, and that was pretty funny. Um, so for sure the markets are different, but I don't know what the Eastern Europe market is like. Income status stereotypes will play a role here. Yeah, it'll be different everywhere, but I don't know enough to be able to comment about the market. What are your book suggestions? I have said these so many times. I don't think I can. I usually say 48 Laws of Power, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and Win Bigly. Those are my three main ones. Justin M. My Life sent me $10. Thank you. Introduction to Psychology. I was taught attraction was caused by physical beauty, similarity, and propinquity. I don't know that word. Thank you. Propinquity. I'll Google that later. They never mentioned status. Why do you think that is? Hmm. Maybe it's a part of propinquity. Should I Google that too? Propinquity. The state of being close to someone or something, proximity. They never mentioned status. Why do you think that is? Physical beauty, similarity, and propinquity. They never mentioned status. I don't know. I mean, status is what gets you to notice somebody, for sure. If they're talking about sexual attraction, there are maybe the way that they framed it was like there's the initial thing that you see about a person, which could be status makes you really stick out, right? And that could be like a fish hook that gets you to see the person. But then if the person doesn't have those things, which would be physical beauty, and then what was it? Similarity. Similarity is a big one. And then propinquity, which I already forgot the meaning of. Uh, Maybe status is what gets you to look at someone who has these things. Because for me, like I have status now because I'm all famous. And then I, talked to a whole bunch of people until I found somebody who had these things. So maybe it's not that status causes the attractiveness, but maybe it puts you in a place where everyone's looking at you and then you get to pick from who you want. Maybe status in and of itself is not attractive, but causes anybody who's attracted to you to come out of the woodwork. Another Landa something. Tips on getting better and talking to new people. Be more social if someone's an introvert. Also, can you draw a cat by the dinner table? I mean, that's kind of a lot of drawing. I'll do a quick one. Getting better and talking to new people. Practice. Go out and talk to new people. Go and fail at it. Go and be an idiot and don't care about it. Go to a place where nobody knows you or cares about you, and just go talk to a bunch of new people and be stupid and be whoever you want. There's a cat. I can't do much more than that. Meow. Miau. Meow. Churchill ghost. Any advice for recovering from abusive, narcissistic boomer parents as a 27-year-old? They would control every aspect of my life with threats and torture. Have left but am broke with no support structures. Um, be on your own, control your own life. Don't let your life be controlled by someone else. Make your own choices. Uh, Look inward. Find your own faults. A lot of people are like, "Oh, my parents are abusive and narcissistic. That's an M. A lot of people say stuff like that, and a lot of them are right, and you might be right. But also, you know, again, I'll talk about the Bible. Jesus says to look at the log in your own eye before talking about the splinter in someone else's. I think that was Jesus. Um, so whatever it is that your parents did, get away from it if it's not working for you. For sure. I'm not saying like go tolerate your parents or anything, but go be on your own and look into yourself and see what you might have going on. I just watched an episode of that show with the guy who yells at people about their financial situation. I think his name is Caleb Hammer. It's a hilarious name, Mr. Hammer. And he yells at people about money. And I just saw these absolutely intolerable 22-year-old kids who were married and like they had absolutely no maturity and no ways of dealing with each other. And they were just off putting all of their problems onto the other one and onto the world. And make sure you're not doing that. Make sure that you're taking responsibility for, who and what you are. And that's what's going to help you grow up. Lipardi says, I appreciate your informational videos and live streams. Thank you. Um, he says they've always been insightful and interesting. Thank you, sir. Have you heard of Galahad Eridanus? Of course not. Galahad Eridanus. I have not heard of that. I feel like you would get a lot out of this channel. Okay, I'll write it. I wrote it down. I'll remember that. Um, you don't necessarily have to fix her, says Noob Kefka. Yeah, that's true. I don't know who you're responding to, but that's true. Nobody says, I'm 20, I own a home, I make about 85K a year, I have hobbies attractive, but I can't find any single women. Where should younger guys look for high value girls? So, unfortunately, there just are not. One of the things I've been telling people is you got to look for people at school and church and collective places like that, but there just aren't a lot of those places left anymore. And I don't really know what to tell people about that. Like, you have to be able to go out of your house and into the world and get people to notice you. And you have to do that by just being cool. You got to have a car or some clothes or be in good shape or something. And you've got to be able to talk to people and get them to like you. Um, where are the girls, man? Go where the girls are. Where should younger guys look for high value girls? High value. How high value do you mean? Where do you live? Where do the girls go in your, area? That question I can't really answer for you. If it was me, I know what I would do. I would go back out to my old life. I would go run events again because that worked really well for me. You've got to be able to put something together like that. Justin Emma Life is back. I was dating a girl for 2 months. It ended due to me having a close female friend. Can you try to explain how women view men with female friends and why this may have happened? Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if she had a male friend who she hung out with a lot and talked to and texted? It's like something's going on. They're jealous. It's jealousy, man. They're afraid that something's going on. If you've got a girl and you're supposed to be together, and then there's this other girl over here, and it's like, oh, we're just friends. That can feel really weird. Just imagine if she had a dude that she was doing that with. Would you really be okay with it? Oh, yeah, we're just hanging out. We're just friends. Okay, I think this might be a short one. Try not to send any more paid questions. I'm gonna go soon. Hate Factorial says, "Is there truth to the claim that men test ideas and women test civilization?" I mean, I haven't heard that before, but it sounds right, so I'm just gonna guess that there is truth to it. Are women accelerating social collapse to save us from the end of Wall-E? Oh God, you're you paid me $5 for a question that takes like the rest of the night. Um, are women accelerating social collapse to save us from the end of Wall-E? No, not really. What women are doing is testing men. They're not really testing civilization, they're testing men because that's what they always do. They say, "Gimme, gimme, gimme," and then if you give it to them, then they don't respect you, unless you give it to them in exactly the right way, which we didn't do. We put them in charge. Like, you don't say to women, "Oh, you run everything," because then they don't respect you. And that's what it's really about. We have to run things. You don't have to oppress women. You don't have to take their rights away. You just have to start making things happen. And whoever is the make thing happener is who they follow. And if they go, you should let me make things happen, you just go, "Shh, no, I'll do it." And then you do it. And they go, okay, thank you. I don't think that there's a big teleological. I don't think that there's a big teleological force to it like you're suggesting. Master 04, do you think that wokeism is partially the result of pathological level 6 state drain? Yes, you've got that exactly right because level 6, what it does is it flattens everything. So they don't believe in levels, they don't believe in better or worse, they just believe in different. So it's just here and here and here and here and here. And this would be like a bacterium, you know, and this would be a human, and they go, "Oh, they're just different life. There's no higher and lower evolution. No, it's just different." And that is a big part of wokeism. Yes, that is where it comes from. Level 6 does that. They call it in integral theory, they call it flatland, where there's no, you know, vertical developmental differences in value. And it's just things are just different on a flat plane. And it's very destructive. Anthony McCall. Scenario: if a small group of level 8 thinkers were funded $100 million, how do you think they would start to implement or organize change in the world? Well, level 8 thinkers, it's kind of like herding cats. So if you funded a small group of them $100 million, you would need for them to have things in common. Because just being at level 8 doesn't mean that you're going to get along with other level 8 thinkers. You have to be at level 8 and also have values in common. And if you could do that, which is what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do that with my whole level check thing, which I can't wait until they come out with the next system. I'm hoping to get groups of people who are way up at the higher levels, like specifically 8, because I don't think we're going to find a whole lot of nines. Um, but I'm hoping to get a bunch of people at level 8 who have similar values and get them together. And we won't have $100 million for them, but we'll be able to get them to coordinate. And the way that level 8 people implement change in the world is they, from their position way up at the top of the, cognition spiral, they think about what life was like when they were at the bottom, and then they think about what they could do to help other people move up faster and experience fewer problems. And that is a super noble thing. It's a super good thing that they do. Um, And, you'd have to get people who are at this level and also feel the same way about certain things. Like, I think that I'm here and I think that I have really good ideas about education. I think that if they put me and a bunch of other level 8 thinkers in charge of the education system, that, people would, like, kids would get a lot more out of it and would grow up a lot better. I also have, ideas for law and policing and all that sort of stuff. They redesign systems to make them work better from the ground up, holistically, like the whole spiral. That's what level 8 thinkers do. Breeny6162 says message retracted. Okay, those are all my paid messages. No more paid messages, please. I am going to go eat my Chinese food. I'll answer a couple more questions before I leave. Psychiatrists and therapists helping people. If she doesn't like him, wants to block you. If we want more high level thinkers, we need to bring back single income homes and revamp. Yes, you're right about that. We do need to bring back traditional families if we want more high level thinkers. Ben says, is level 8 code for white liberal? No, liberals are not high level thinkers. Liberals are mostly level 4. They're mostly just stuck in follower mindsets, and they just go, "They said to do it on TV, so I did it twice." That's not, no, it's not code for that. Bridge collapse. Oh god, I've gotta look that up. How did I navigate through level 6? Simberline. Um, Simberline asks, "How did I navigate through level 6?" Watch my video levels. I talk about it. Um, somebody liked my explanation of liberals. Libs, mostly 4. Yeah, they suck. Alright, I'm gonna go eat my Chinese food. I'm sorry this one was short, but I have enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. How did that go? So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Okay. Good night. Bye.